Hi guys! So it has been quite a little while since my last video, and I decided with the new year coming up, it would be kind of fun to do a reading kind of on the future of K-pop and what's to come for the next coming year, for 2025. We know of some things that are going to happen. We know that BTS are going to be fully returned and whole. We know that a lot of things are going to happen. A lot of comebacks are going to happen. There's definitely going to be a lot of scandals. And so I want to take a look and see what we're kind of looking at here. So I'm not quite sure how we're going to do this yet. I've been thinking on it in a couple different ways, and I think the best way to do this is we're going to look at boy groups in general. We're going to look at girl groups in general. We're going to look at scandals, and we're going to look at overall year. So I think it's going to be just kind of a one at a time sort of thing. So I'm going to do kind of like 3 cards at a time for like boy group, girl group, scandals. And then we'll go from there. Oh shit. Cards just keep flying out left and right. It's not good. I don't like that. And just a preface, I usually don't read cards that fall out while I'm shuffling. You'll see a lot of tarot readers, especially on TikTok, that shuffle their cards like super fast, and then like when one falls out, they read that. I don't do that. And the reason for that is because if I read every single card that I dropped, we would be here all day long. So if that card was meant to be read, it'll show up in the reading. Unless it does something really weird, like when it falls out. If it does like 3 spins, a backflip, then yeah, I usually will make note of that card. But usually if cards are just falling, it's because I'm clumsy as fuck. So, anyways. So, yeah, we're going to start with boy groups first. We're going to be getting some new boy groups too this year. I know that Hybe is planning a new boy group, which I plan to do a video on sometime in the near future. I know that Starlight Boys just ended, so there's going to be a new group from that. And if you're wondering my opinion on that, you can follow me on Twitter if you want to know my opinions on some things. It's always linked in the description. But my opinion is I quite liked the lineup. I thought it was pretty solid. But yeah, so we're going to start with boy groups first. And we're going to pull 3 cards and we're going to go from there. And see what's in store for boy groups in the upcoming year of 2025. Okay. Oh. Okay. Okay. You can see that one, hopefully. I'm asking you like you can respond immediately. Well, I do think we're looking at another year of kind of lost, what's the word? Less success of boy groups again. We know that the past couple of years have been very girl group dominated. I think that trend's going to continue this year. I just don't see boy groups able to kind of pull themselves up this year, despite what they do. I'm seeing a lot of groups, boy groups specifically, um, pull back. I'm seeing a lot of breaks, hiatuses, like long breaks between comebacks. I'm just seeing a lot of them. I mean, it could even be like some disbandments, though I'm not gonna like speak that out into the world because I don't like to do that. Um, because I don't want to scare fans. I don't want to make people feel like a group could disband any minute because you never know what could happen. You never know what these companies are thinking. So I don't really want to say that, but it could lead to that. Um, I'm seeing an effort being made for boy groups. So again, this is like boy groups having like comebacks, more of them coming out. But I'm just not seeing them really latching. Um, a Two of Pentacles is interesting. It's a lack of balance. I wonder why people feel like there's a lack of balance. People feel like boy groups don't take risks in their music anymore. It's all, I don't want to say the same. It's just very safe. So it's like songs that they know people are gonna like. They know people are gonna buy it. They know people are gonna listen to it. It's not pushing any boundaries. So compare it to a girl group like La Seraphim, who like is always pushing boundaries. Their songs are always kind of different and unique, and not everyone's gonna like every song they release because of that. Um, Boy groups don't do that, and I think people kind of realize that that's where the imbalance is coming from, and they just feel like there's nothing really, there's no, what's the word, there's no spice in it. I just see people being like, oh, they're just kind of boring. um yeah, I genuinely just see people being like, oh, it's just, they're just kind of boring. They just don't, they just kind of make the same kind of like soft, safe music, like not soft, safe music. However, again, the Seven of Cups, that's about like multiple choices. So I feel like it's not a terrible year for boy groups. They're just not getting everything they want. You know, it's kind of like with the Seven of Cups, you kind of have to pick out of many different choices. So for me, the way that I'm interpreting that is that there's like maybe seven. I was gonna say one or two, but since it's Seven of Cups, maybe seven boy groups that are kind of doing different things and are kind of to look out for. So it's not as if every single boy group is gonna fall victim to this. There is a hefty handful that are going to sort of rise above this in a way and not fall victim to the same, oh, boy groups have no spice, they're kind of boring, they do the same thing, that people like to say about them, and people will continue to say about them. There are some that are not going to fall victim to that, and I think we already kind of know who those boy groups are, if we're being truthfully honest with ourselves. Let's move on to the girl groups. Let me just do a quick like little reshuffle. We're gonna move on to the girl groups. Let's look at what's in store for girl groups in the next year, 2025. Well, I see, okay. I see people I see people disconnected from girl groups emotionally. I see uh, this is the I mean we're going to continue the same things that we've been doing. I think you know I really hate a lot of online communities for K-pop, especially on Twitter, because y'all make a molehill out of anything. Uh, it nothing is this deep to still continue on the same kind of lack of empathy, lack of compassion that people feel for girl groups. And that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing people kind of like disconnect emotionally from them. Very cold, very, yeah, not empathetic at all. Um, the King of Cups is here, which is interesting. I think that people are, again, like we've seen this year, going to continue to target uh, more hype centered girl groups. And the reason I say that is because I see people kind of attacking girl groups that they think are just kind of a money grab. Um, that aren't like, they don't work together. They're just a group because they wanted to make money off of like someone's name. I see that being kind of a topic of conversation. Um, so I feel like they're still gonna be kind of going through the same shit. Uh, what? What? So we have unwilling to sacrifice, right? That's the hangman reversed. The Ten of Wands is reversed. That's a releasing of a burden. Nine of Cups is reversed. That's like, usually it's the satisfaction with how things have gone. I think here's what I think. There's gonna be an even split, I feel like, in online spaces. This is probably more specifically about Twitter. Because I feel like that's where most of like fandom discourse kind of happens. You're not really gonna see like hate on like Tumblr, or you might see it on Reddit, but I feel like this is more Twitter based. I feel like it's gonna be a very even split of people who are like, ugh, I don't care about this girl group. They can like go do whatever, like just have no feelings for them. Kind of keep up the same harshness that they've had for them. And then you have other people who are like, no, screw you. I'm not gonna pretend I don't like this girl group because you say that I shouldn't. I just see a very even split. It's very 50-50 of people who are loving girl groups and people who are hating them. And I think it's just kind of like, I think the things that happened this year in 2024 are going to either keep people's opinions the same or they're going to switch them. Because I see a lot of people kind of coming to a, hey, like, we don't need to keep attacking people. It's not making me like feel happy with myself to attack these innocent idols. And then you have other people who are too stuck in their ways to like move on. So I just see a very even split there. As far as the success of the girl groups, I think they're going to be successful. I mean, obviously, they're going to be successful. I see. Okay, here's what I see. I see a veteran girl group and a new girl group. Kind of being at the forefront of everyone's mind. The Four of Cups being reversed tells me that people are going to be a little bored. And again, I saw this with boy groups too, so I don't know if this is just K-pop as a whole. It might be K-pop as a whole. But people are going to be bored. People are going to be disinterested in a lot of other groups, a lot of K-pop. But there is a more veteran girl group and a younger girl group that I think are going to be kind of the front runners of the year. You can speculate who the what groups those are. That, I mean, it could be like a group that's not even debuted yet. So, but only time will tell. Okay, we're gonna move on to scandals, which I think is gonna be the most fun to read, because I don't know about you, I love some juicy gossip. That's why I do this. So we're gonna look at some scandals and see what's gonna go down. Hopefully nothing too bad. Okay. Got a lot of cards on the floor. Kind of looks like someone leaving a group. The Four of Wands reversed, that's like kind of a family unit, kind of being broken apart. And there's a Queen of Cups that's kind of left out of it. So this could be a bullying scandal. This could be somebody leaving a group. Yeah, it feels like a girl group just because the Queen of Cups is a more feminine card. But it doesn't have to be. It could be any group. It could be a 4-member group. But again, doesn't have to be a 4-member group. I just see somebody kind of being ostracized from their group. Yeah. I see them walking away. It feels like a slightly newer group, I will say. Not super new. It's a group that I think has been through a lot, but it's still quite new, probably in like their first couple of years. Maybe like 1 to 3 years, maybe. Death card being reversed tells me that there's an unwillingness to change. So, but the change is kind of inevitable. It's happening anyways. So I don't think that this is something, this could even be a member getting kicked out of a group. Because I see there being, we don't want this to happen. I guess that could be from the fans, but I see people not wanting this sort of change to happen, but it's going to happen regardless. That this person, in one way or another, is going to walk away. And I don't know if it's bullying, if they're willingly going to leave, if they're going to be forced to leave. Not sure, but it's one member with their group. Let's look at something else. Walking away again. Walking away. I see somebody healing from being betrayed. Sounds positive. This. What's the scandal here? This might be a re-debut. I wonder if this is going to be New Jeans' re-debut. I see all eyes on them. I see they walked away, and yeah. I mean, it might not be New Jeans. There's definitely fighting about it. There's definitely going to be a fight about it. But I don't really see why. I think that this is a sort of re-debut of a group that is controversial for reasons that I'm sure we will know when it comes. I am inclined to say that this is a re-debut of New Jeans, but I don't know that for certain, so take that with a grain of salt. I don't really understand how that's going to be a scandal, other than the fact that they're going to have to fight. Maybe is it possible they could do one more comeback under Hype? Is that possible at all? I just see people being like angry about it for some reason. I mean, people are going to be angry about it no matter what New Jeans does, but I don't really see a reason to be angry about it. So I guess it's kind of one of those things that we'll see when it happens, because I don't really see a reason to be angry about it other than what we already know. Okay, I'm going to look at one more scandal, and then we're going to look at K-pop as a whole, and then we're going to be done with this. This video has been way too long. Okay. Overworked. This is a group that's being overworked. I see a group being kind of shafted by their company. So it's like no promotions. This could be even a break or a hiatus of a group. It's a newer group. Again, like probably 1 to 3. It could even be up into 5 years, 1 to 5 maybe. I just see. It feels like a boy group to me. Yeah, I'm not this. I just see their hard work not being valued. I see them being overworked and getting nothing for it with the 9 of Wands. The Starverse tells me that their popularity is diminishing. So the attention is going to be off of them. And for some reason, I feel like that's on purpose. Yeah. Okay. Oh. Yeah, I see 2. It's 2 members of a group, I think a boy group, that are going through it. Like mentally. It's giving mental break. But there's something deeper with it. It's not just they're not just like, oh, we're feeling depressed, so the whole group's gonna take like a month off. No, it's something happening behind the scenes that is making them anxious, and it's causing issues with the group. It's like causing issues with the group's like popularity. So like this would be if say a group put on like a pretty bad performance. It was blamed on like two people. But then we come to realize that the reason they put on that bad performance is because they were sick and still forced to like be on stage. It's giving something like that. Yeah. And again, this could definitely result in a break, I think. It feels like we're kind of stepping away in a way, but it's not necessarily disbandment. I just see two members kind of being laid up. And if two members of your group were out, then you might as well have the whole group be on hiatus, right? That's what I think. I wonder if this is in Hypen. I don't know why I just got that vibe. And Hypen just came into my head like full force. It is a younger group. Or newer group, I guess I should say. Not necessarily younger. Okay. Now we are going to look at overall what's in store for K-pop. What's going to happen in the future. Just an overall conclusion to this mess of a reading. Yeah. So let's go ahead and get started. No. Oh. Ah. Whew. That's whammy after whammy after whammy. Okay. Well, let's dive into it, okay? The Tower reversed, because that is reversed, is a restructuring. So, to me, that tells me that K-pop is going to get kind of reshuffled once again. I feel like K-pop kind of burned to the ground this year. So, I feel like this year we're going to be kind of patching that as best we can. We have the Queen of Swords here. We know who that is, right? If you guys have been watching my readings, you know who the Queen of Swords represents. And if you don't, I'm going to tell you. It's Min Heejin. I feel like we're going to see a year of cleaning up her mess. That's what it feels like. A year of cleaning up her mess. The Lover's card reverse tells me that we're going to see a very even split. And I said this before. We're going to see a very even split of people. I'm seeing a lot of arguments online. That's not shocking. But I do see it. And since it's here, I feel like it's going to be a pretty big deal. I just see people not getting along this year. Or this coming year. Yeah. I think for every group that gets their quote unquote justice, that gets freed, that it is, let go, right? There's another group that's still shackled and still stuck and still needs help. And I think that it's just a constant cycle of feeling bad for another group. It's just a constant cycle. You can't have, people are going to struggle with figuring out what groups to focus on, because with every group that you pick apart, there's always going to be one that needs it more. Does that make sense? Is what I'm saying making sense? I can imagine it in my head, but it's hard to articulate. It's just like every group that does well, there's another group that isn't going to do well. And I think that that's why people are going to start feeling numb. I think people are going to start feeling like they don't care about things that certain groups or certain members of groups go through. Because I feel like they're just like, well, this one had it worse than you. You're over here crying about this, but this one had it way worse than you. It feels like oppression Olympics to me. Maybe not oppression Olympics, just pain Olympics. Yeah. Yeah, all in all, I will say I feel like this year is not going to be as big success-wise as this year was. I feel like 2025 is not going to be as big and good of a year for K-pop as 2024 was. I just see certain groups kind of falling under, and I mean like big groups, like big influential groups kind of not doing as well as I guess people hope. We're gonna have some like groups that shine, of course, but yeah, I feel like it's just gonna be a very muted year for K-pop. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of fighting online, so maybe watch that. Maybe try not to do that as much, because it looks like it's gonna be a very tense year. And we don't want that. We don't want tension in our fandom spaces. But yeah, so I'm gonna leave this here. Hopefully you liked this reading. I know it was a little odd. It kind of went all over the place. But if you did, then you should like this video and you should subscribe, because I plan to release a video at least once a week. But if I can't do once a week, then you're going to get one at least every other week. So you should subscribe if you want to see more of this content. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!